The stars will align on November 4th when the top buyers from around the globe gather at Fasig-Tipton for the world's premier breeding stock event. One spectacular evening with a catalog featuring no less than 70 graded stakes winners or producers, with nearly half of those being Grade 1s. Plus a stellar selection of Breeders' Cup winners, champions, and selected weanlings. No other sale packs as much energy and excitement into a single session. Join us for a night of stars, the November sale at Fasig-Tipton. Where would you be?
Hi everybody, Dan Illman, Matt Burney are kicking off the 50-cent pick 4 at Churchill Downs on Future Stars Friday. It's race number 7. It's the Grade 1 Tito's Handmade Vodka Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies. Let's take a look at this field. Our Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies coverage is presented by the November sale at Fasig-Tipton, to be held the Sunday after the Breeders' Cup. We're going a mile and a 16th for $2 million in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies, carded as race number 7. And Matt, the number 10, Bellafina, boy, she's done nothing wrong in her last 3 races. Simon Callahan took the blinkers off last time out in the Chandelier. The question was 2 turns. The question was whether she could rate. She answered both of those questions in the affirmative. In my opinion, it was her most impressive performance to date.
Yeah, I agree 100%. She was awesome that day out at Santa Anita. I got to see it firsthand, and she never looked like a loser at any point. And that was on paper a pretty darn good group going into that race. I'm sure there are some people that are going to look at the 10 post position and say that's going to be a little bit of an obstacle. I look at it and say, I think that's probably the ideal sort of position for her. Allow Flavien Prat to work out some sort of a nice stalking or pressing trip just off of some of those speeds down to the inside, and you just go on with it and hope and think that you're on the best horse in the race. And I to be honest with you, I kind of think that is the case.
And I think Timeform US agrees with you from their pace standpoint. We're going to take a peek at the Timeform US pace projector for this race. And while we do see a red bar indicating an expected fast pace, there is the number 10, the morning line favorite Bellafina, sitting second, just off the 2, Serengeti Empress, who I agree will probably be the one to catch under Corey Lannery. And ever since this filly has adopted true front-running tactics in her last 2 races, she's been unstoppable. She's won those races by a combined 33 lengths. She is a winner over course and trip, and I thought she was simply tremendous winning the Pocahontas last time out. Now we'll see if she handles some heat from a horse like Bellafina.
Well, and I think also you couple it with just the overall ability of the rest of the field, not just Bellafina, because I think that's the real concern I have with that Pocahontas. You look at the horses that she beat that day, she didn't beat anything in there. So the fact that she won by, a quarter mile, that's all well and good, but you got to do it against better horses for me to fully buy in. And the one time I feel like she's really been tested was that second lifetime startup at Saratoga. She wasn't embarrassed in there, but she was handled pretty easily by a number of horses that, even if they were running in a spot like this, I don't think they would be viewed as major players in here. You got to hope that you're just going to go out there and say, come and catch me, and perhaps the home field advantage gets her over. I still think Bellafina is more talented.
I think the number 4, Restless Rider, might have the most upside potential of any filly in this race if you're looking way down the road at Churchill Downs to a race like the Kentucky Oaks. Plus, if you believe this pace will be fast and contested, Restless Rider has shown the ability to sit and finish. I thought she looked good in winning the Alcibiades in her 2-turn debut, and she would not be a surprise at all for Ken McPeek.
No, I think she fits in here very well. I picked her second in this spot. I like everything about her. The way that McPeek has handled her, and he made it clear this is a 3-race schedule. We're going to go with the spin away, shake the rust off, come back in the Alcibiades. They won that one at Keeneland, and the goal is to win this race here. Churchill Downs is not an issue for her. She's 2 for 2. She overcame all sorts of trouble in that debutante to go off and win by a pole. I think she's a major player in here, and she might offer a decent price.
The 7, Jaywalk, will try 2 turns for the first time, but she overcame a lot in winning the Frizette last time out, stretching out 2.5 furlongs and showing good early speed against a decent field. I mean, she took that race to the hot favorite early, who was expected to be on the lead, and then kept right on going for trainer John Service. As for Jaywalk, what's the running style going to be? It was nice to see her rate from off the pace 2 starts back at Delaware. She sure looked good on the lead last time in the Frizette. Do you think Joel Rosario is going to be a little bit more patient this time?
Yeah, I mean, I think at least Rosario has the ability to kind of do whatever he wants with her. If if there's no speed that develops, you can obviously send her and go on with it. And if for some reason you get a horse down to the inside, whether it's Serengeti Empress or someone else that's just intent on going, you can sit just off and perhaps even get the jump on a horse like Bellafina. I like everything about her. I think she's very, very talented. The one thing I'm mildly, I don't even want to say concerned, I'm just going to be very curious to see how it plays out on Friday, is her ability to go a little bit longer and go 2 turns, because I see cross traffic and I know he was capable of getting it. I see orientate on the bottom. I just get the feeling that she might end up ultimately being a little bit better going one turn.
Not only did Sippick Harbor beat 4 of these common foes when taking the Grade 1 Spinaway at Saratoga, she also beat American Pharoah's little sister Chasing Yesterday, who flattered the race by coming back to win a stake at Santa Anita with an 88 Beyer speed figure. Talk about versatility. This filly won on the lead 2 starts back by 17 lengths and then came from last to win the Spinaway. I think she'll be more near the back of the pack in this spot. And again, a fast pace works to her advantage. What do you think about the 2 months off since the Spinaway?
Yeah, it's certainly a concern. I would have liked to have seen her run, whether it was the Frizette or somewhere else, run at Keeneland, just get another race into you leading into this spot. But to be honest with you, I've been very impressed with each of the past 2 starts. Like you say, the versatility that she's shown, you don't usually see that from 2-year-olds being able to win outright on the lead or come from 100 out of it. I agree. I think she's probably going to be a little bit more sort of toward the rear of the pack throughout this race on Friday. But I picked her 3rd in here. I have a feeling she's going to slip through the cracks. I think she's going to go up tremendously from that 12-1 morning line. I won't be surprised at all if she goes off in that 15 or 20-1 line number anyway. And I kind of feel like she's got a puncher's chance. I
think the one Reflect is rock solid. In the Spinaway, I thought she kind of mid-moved into the teeth of a hot pace and finished evenly. I think it's a better-than-look performance. In the Alcibiades, second best to Restless Rider in her first start around 2 turns. We know trainer Keith Desormeaux likes to take his time with these inexperienced horses and have them primed for the big spots. Gets a rider switch from James Graham to Jose Ortiz. But that being said, I guess if I wanted someone out of the Alcibiades, it would be the winner, Restless Rider.
Yeah, and I'm also not totally convinced. I know she ran really well that day in the Alcibiades. I still think I see Trap Shot. I think you're going to want to go shorter when it's all said and done. I think they'd be thrilled if they can get a piece of this thing. And then eventually going forward, I do wonder if next year as a 3-year-old, she wants to go 1 turn.
Bellafina ran right by Vibrance in the Chandelier on September the 29th. Something tells me that this time around, John Velasquez, they're not going to make the running with Vibrance. Vibrance, I think, is going to be taken off of the pace. She's improved incrementally from a Beyer standpoint in her dirt races, but she's going to have to improve, I think, a heck of a lot more to upset this field.
Yeah, I don't know if I like her to win, but I do like her to hit the board. I think she's really interesting, and I say that I picked her 4th in here. I would expect her to be a little bit farther off the pace this time around because I think you combine so many different things in that Chandelier, facing winners, facing really talented horses, and she was out there cutting out fractions. She had never gone that fast in her life. Take her back, sort of sit off the pace this time around, make a move. I think she's got some ability.
I picked her 4th as well. I wonder if maybe the rating tactics will help her out, and distance shouldn't be an issue for her. The 5 is Cassie's Dreamer. What a $50,000 claim for trainer Barclay Tagg. Claim for 50, now multiple Grade 1 stakes placed, but beaten by Sippick Harbor, Restless Rider, Jaywalk, another filly that has to improve. In this will also be her first start around 2 turns.
Yeah, I think she's up against it, but again, considering what the connections have done with her already, she's worth her weight in gold. Go out, take a chance. You hit the board in this race, it increases your value even more. I don't think it's very likely, but look, crazier things have happened.
You rarely see horses place in graded stakes with 48 Beyer speed figures. Splashy Kisses did just that in her most recent start. She was beaten 20 lengths by Serengeti Empress, but she does have that valuable black type. I think she'll be okay down the road. I think this is a case of too much too soon, and boy, she's got to face Serengeti Empress again.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I wasn't totally convinced with her going into the Pocahontas because I didn't really love that 77 Beyer that year and 2 starts back. I'm going to be very interested to see eventually what she turns into in a spot like this. I want no part of her.
Baby Nina completes this field. Blinkers on for the Luch folks. They're taking a shot. She's a stakes winner against Ohio breds.
Yeah, maybe the blinkers on, get her into the race a little bit earlier, and perhaps she can stick around and get brave. On paper, it just looks very difficult to make a case for her.
Let's take a look at our top selections for the Grade 1 Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies. We're both going with the morning line favorite. I think Bellafina is the horse to beat. I agree with you about how this race is going to unfold. I think she's either going to sit second off Serengeti Empress. If Jaywalk wants to get aggressive, let her sit third with a 3-wide trip while in the clear. Simon Callahan just seems to do well with these 2-year-old fillies. I mean, Abel Tasman, Moonshine Memories, and this one?
Yeah, I mean, I think she just fits right in there. And if you've listened to Callahan, he said that she's the best one that he's had. I mean, that speaks volumes about what he thinks of her. I just think she's the best horse in this race. I think she works out a good trip in here. And really, for me, the way that I'm playing this race, it's okay, we're going to go with the chalk on top, but I'm going to try to beat Serengeti Empress. I'm going to try to beat Jaywalk. I want to use a couple of those interesting horses underneath. 10, 4, 8, and 3 for me. I think Vibrance has an interesting chance. I think Restless Rider is very, very logical. But also, Sippick Harbor, she hasn't done anything wrong. And like you said, that Spinaway, the form has flattered her. I think she's very interesting in here.
How much would you lean on Bellafina in the pick?
To be honest with you, I'm probably going to put most of my eggs in her basket. Maybe go lone A. If I was going to use anyone else, perhaps it's a Restless Rider, but I kind of feel like they're going to be better off used underneath. I feel like Bellafina, if she runs a race, I think she's just going to win.
I'm going to go 10-7-4-3. I agree with Matt. I think that Bellafina would be my lone A in the pick 4. Also a little bit against Serengeti Empress in here. Try to get horses like Jaywalk, Restless Rider, and even Vibrance, who's also my 4th selection, into the number. The Grade 1 Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies kicks off a 50-cent pick 4 at Churchill Downs on Future Stars Friday. Our coverage presented by the November sale at Fasig-Tipton.